Hey guys, so today I thought I would share with you my AM and PM skincare routines using Tretinoin. So about 3 months ago, I was prescribed Tretinoin, aka Retin-A, for acne. And it's been a bit of a process figuring out the best skincare routine, because if you've ever been on Tretinoin before, you probably know in the beginning, at least for like the first few months, it can really kind of dry your skin out and cause a little bit of irritation. So I feel like I finally nailed down a good skincare routine where my skin seems to be pretty happy. So I was prescribed Tretinoin cream 0.05%, and alongside that, I was also prescribed spironolactone and clindamycin. So if you want to hear more about like my results from that, kind of before and after like progress photos, I'll link my video on that below. A lot of my results I think are attributed to the spironolactone because that kind of targets like the hormonal issue that I have. It's hard to say how much of my results have come from this versus the Spiro, but regardless, I'm happy to be on Tretinoin because it's also good for anti-aging. So whether it's helping my acne or not, I'm not really sure, but it's also only been 3 months, and sometimes it can take several months for the Tretinoin to really start working. So I've just been focusing on a skincare routine that will kind of keep my skin hydrated and calm as it adjusts to this product. So a few key things that I've learned are, number one, less is more. I've really just been focusing on paring down my skincare routine and using fewer products to really let the Tretinoin do its job. So I have completely cut out any kind of AHA or BHA exfoliants, any kind of exfoliants at all. I have cut those out. I used to be a big fan of like the Paula's Choice BHA liquid. I'll probably reintroduce that at some point down the road, but for now, I just haven't been using that at all, just because I feel like any kind of actives like that are just going to cause me more irritation. And instead, I've really just been focusing on hydrating and moisturizing products instead. Most of the time, both my AM and PM skincare routines, I am only using from like 1 to 3 products. So keeping it very, very simple and minimal. And as far as how often I've been using the Tretinoin, I started out using it every 3rd night to just kind of let my skin slowly adjust to it. And then about 2.5 months in, I increased that to every other night. So now I am using it every other night. I'm still getting a little bit of dryness, but I feel like I've been able to manage that really well with the products I've been using. So let's go ahead and get started with my AM skincare routine. So for the AM routine, this is super, super simple. In the mornings, I don't even wash my face. I just rinse it with water. I found that as infrequently as I can cleanse my face, the better. So I just do that once a day in the evenings. And then after that, some mornings I'll use the Paula's Choice Skin Recovery Enriched Calming Toner. I don't feel like this is a must-have, but it's just something I kind of wanted to try. And I do feel like it adds a little bit of extra hydration to my skin. You'll see a lot of this Paula's Choice Skin Recovery line in my routine because I've been relying on it quite a bit. It's been really nice for these past few months, but that I use some mornings, maybe like every other morning, every 3rd morning, something like that. So whenever I feel like I need it. And then sometimes I'll use a hydrating serum. So the one I've been using recently is the Pharmacy Feeling Good Hyaluronic Acid Plumping Serum. I don't really care for this one that much. Mainly the scent is what I don't like. It smells really strongly like honey, and I hate the smell of honey personally. It's just a weird personal preference, but other than that, it's nice. I don't feel like it irritates my skin or anything, and it just gives me a little extra boost of hydration, and I always apply that when my skin is still slightly damp. So sometimes I'll use those two together, sometimes I'll just use one or the other. It just really kind of depends on what I feel like my skin needs that morning. And then after that optional serum or toner step, I just go in with moisturizer. So for a while I was using the Paula's Choice Skin Recovery Replenishing Moisturizer, which I really like, but then just recently I got the Versed Skin Soak Rich Moisture Cream, and I think I like this one even better. Both of these say that they're good for like dry skin. The Versed one, for some reason, this one reminds me actually a lot of the E.L.F. Holy Hydration Face Cream, which I love, but it's even a little bit more moisturizing than that. But it has almost like more of a wet consistency than the Paula's Choice one. This one is like thicker and more buttery, whereas this one is rich and wet is the best way I can think to describe it. Like it just feels like it has more humectants in it, I guess. I'm not really sure. I think if I had to pick between the two, I do kind of prefer the Versed one, and it's a little bit cheaper, and the packaging is recyclable. It's just a number 5 plastic, versus the Paula's Choice I think I have to send into their recycling program, so side note there. And the last step in my morning skincare routine, which is also the most important, is sunscreen. Sunscreen is super important on Tretinoin because Tretinoin can kind of increase your skin's sensitivity to the sun, so you definitely want to make sure you're using an SPF. Currently the one that I feel like my skin is getting along with the best is the Kinship Self Reflect probiotic moisturizing sunscreen with SPF 32. This is a mineral sunscreen, and sometimes I feel like when my skin is more sensitive, a mineral sunscreen is a little bit better, just because sometimes chemical sunscreens can feel a tad irritating. But this is just the one that I feel like I can rely on every single day, and it feels a little bit hydrating. I definitely still need a moisturizer underneath. That is a non-negotiable, but this is just my favorite. It's great under makeup. It gives my skin this beautiful, like almost blurred glass skin effect. I really love it. This is the value size. So that's my morning skincare routine. Really simple. At first I was also using clindamycin, but I did stop using it recently just because it is an antibiotic and I don't want to like develop an antibiotic resistance. So I stopped using it, and I don't feel like that has worsened my acne, so I'll probably stick to not using that unless I feel like I really need it at some point. So now for the PM skincare routine. Now I do have two different types of routines in the PM. So one is the nights that I am using tretinoin, and the other is my off nights where I'm not using tretinoin, which is currently every other night I'm alternating. So I'll share both. I'll probably show like in the demos the routine where I am using tretinoin though. So in the nighttime, I always do a double cleanse to remove makeup and sunscreen and just dirt from my skin from throughout the day. I highly recommend the double cleanse method. I think it is, like, once I started it, I never went back. I just think it's the best way to make sure you're removing all of the stuff off of your face at the end of the day. Even if you just wear sunscreen, especially a water-resistant sunscreen, a double cleanse really helps remove all of it. So my first cleanse that I've been using recently is the Fourth Ray Beauty BFD Cleansing Oil. This is great. I've also used cleansing balms. I like the Paula's Choice one. I will just work this in all over my face, around the eye area as well to remove eye makeup, and it really does get everything off. It emulsifies beautifully, so with water, everything just kind of rinses away. Sometimes if I have a little bit of extra eye makeup left over, I'll just use like the Garnier micellar water to get all of that off. But this does the job, and I don't need to bring in the micellar water at all. So highly recommend that one if you're in the market for a good like drugstore cleansing oil. And for my second cleanse at night, I have found that really the key is to use a non-foaming cream cleanser. Anything that's foaming at all, even if it's just a little bit, I do feel like it just kind of dries out my skin even more, and my skin just seems much happier with a cream cleanser. So the one I've been using and loving is the Paula's Choice Skin Recovery Softening Cream Cleanser. You get a really huge bottle of this. It's 8 fluid ounces, and I think it's like maybe $18 on their website, so not terribly expensive, and I feel like it's a pretty good value. And I have been using this for like 3 months now, and there's still a ton left. But like I said, I do only use it at night. Even though this doesn't lather at all, I feel like it leaves my skin feeling really clean, but not stripped or dried out at all. So I love that. This has been probably one of the most important products in my skincare routine, and normally I don't think of the cleanser as being that important, but for me, the key really has been this non-foaming cleanser. So after that, I will apply my moisturizer, and I like to apply my moisturizer underneath the tretinoin because it kind of acts as a buffer layer, and it just keeps my skin from getting as irritated as it would if I just put the tretinoin directly on my skin. So I just went straight from cleansing to moisturizing. I don't use really any other serums or anything else on my tretinoin nights. Like I said, I like to keep it really, really simple because I just feel like the fewer the products, the less irritated my skin's going to get, and the more of a chance the tretinoin is going to have to actually do its job. So lately, I'll kind of alternate between either the Versed Skin Soak or the Paula's Choice Replenishing Moisturizer. These are great in both the AM and PM, but lately I've really just been loving that Versed one. So then I let that moisturizer fully sink in and dry before I apply the tretinoin. That's another good way to kind of keep the tretinoin from irritating you too much. And while I'm waiting for that to dry, I have been using on my tretinoin nights the Kapari Starry Eye Balm as my eye cream. And the reason for that is because this is a very like emollient eye balm. You kind of use it in place of an eye cream, but I feel like it kind of seals off the eye area and keeps the tretinoin from like migrating and irritating my eyes. Because at the beginning I was noticing like the corner of my eye getting irritated, like the skin right there. Probably because like as I'm sleeping at night, maybe some of it would like rub off onto my pillow and like, you know, it kind of could move around. So I feel like this has solved that problem, and that's been really nice. And I also like to apply a lip balm at this step just to keep my lips protected. My favorite Holy Grail lip balm is the Paula's Choice Lip and Body Treatment Balm. This is a super just bare bones, very simple lip balm. You can see I've already used so much of it. There's no like scent to this or anything, but it really just feels so protective, and I always wake up with the softest lips. I never get chapped lips as long as I'm using this lip balm. And then some nights I use the Kopari Lip Glossy. I actually like this almost equally to the Paula's Choice one, but this one, I find the method of application much easier. This one, the Paula's Choice one, you have to like dig your finger in there, versus this one, you don't. So I think I still like the Paula's Choice one a little bit more, but this is a really good alternative. And then once my moisturizer has completely sunk in, I apply the Tretinoin. Again, with this, less is more. You really just need like a pea-sized amount for your whole face. I don't apply it to my neck. I don't apply it to my eye area. I try to keep it away from like my upper lip. So I'll just apply like a couple dots to my forehead, a couple dots to like my cheeks and chin, rub that in, and that is my entire nighttime skincare routine for the nights that I do use the Tretinoin. Now, like I said, I use this every other night, so the nights in between, what I do, it's pretty similar, except I don't use Tretinoin on those nights, and I do the same double cleanse with the cleansing oil and the softening cream cleanser from Paula's Choice. Then a product I've been trying for these kind of in-between nights is the Paula's Choice Discoloration Repair Serum. This is a new product of theirs, and I've been using this in hopes that it will help with my acne scarring, because I do have a little bit of scarring on my cheeks. I do feel like my scarring has been fading. Now, that could just be happening naturally, but I like to think that this is helping somewhat. And this, the main ingredient in here is tranexamic acid. I guess you could consider an active ingredient. I've started using this just like 2 nights a week. I probably use it like 3 nights a week now, so it's always on nights that I'm not using Tretinoin though, and I don't feel like it's caused any irritation or anything. So it feels pretty gentle on my skin. Hopefully that's been helping with the scarring. I kind of feel like it has been. If you go back and watch my spironolactone video, I showed like progress photos, and I feel like you can kind of see the scarring fading just a little bit. So hopefully this has been helping. And then after that, I just apply either my moisturizer, or sometimes on these non-Tretinoin nights, I like to use a hydrating mask. So this is basically an overnight mask. You apply it just like you would a moisturizer, but it's just a little bit richer. This is the Paula's Choice Hydrating Treatment Mask from, again, their Skin Recovery line. I've got a lot of products from that line now. And this has been nice. I feel like it's hydrating, it's soothing, and it's just nice to use on those nights in between using Tretinoin to kind of reset my skin and rehydrate it really nicely. And then the eye cream I've been using on my off nights are the Josie Maran Argan Pro Retinol Eye Concentrate. I don't really have any strong feelings on this yet, but this is just the one I'm using currently, and it's fine. And always a lip balm again on those off nights. So that is my entire skincare routine, both AM and PM, since I started using Tretinoin. It's been kind of a process to get here, but this is the routine that I've kind of settled on that I feel like is really working best for my skin right now. Even after increasing the frequency of Tretinoin from every 3rd night to every other night, I don't feel like my skin has gotten like increasingly irritated after making that change. So hopefully if you are getting ready to start Tretinoin or you're on it currently, hopefully this will help you out. If you've got any other products that you've been enjoying, I would love to hear those in the comments. But otherwise, if you enjoyed this video, definitely make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you've not already. I mainly upload makeup videos, but occasionally skincare as well. So I'd love to see you again soon, and hopefully I'll talk to you very soon in my next video. Bye.